West Yorkshire Police Constable 24-year-old PC Jacob Swallow has been sentenced at York Magistrates Court this week after previously being found guilty of assault. Jacob Swallow was on duty on the 15th of June 2022 in Keighley when he was called to a report of a disturbance in which a 17-year-old was detained, handcuffed and put in the back of a police van. Now, in case you haven't been in one, in the back of most police vans they have a cage, different sizes in different vans, but I'm guessing this was one of the smaller ones where you literally only have room to sit down. You can't swing your legs around or anything. After the cage door was shut, the detained male was said to have started banging his head against the cage door. Two officers then opened the cage to restrain the man, which, if you ask me, he was restrained anyway, being in a cage, and if it were me, I'd probably have let him knock it out of himself. But of course, police have a duty of care when they can be bothered, and needed to prevent the man from hurting himself. Which is funny, and you'll see why in a minute. As the two plods tried to restrain the man and prevent him from hitting his head, he is said to have bit one of them and then they closed the cage doors again. However, the man kept banging his head against the cage door, so PC Jacob Swallow decided that the best way to prevent the man from hurting himself by banging his head on the cage would be to open the cage and smack the man in the face, hurting him probably more than he would have done to himself, as the punch caused the man to recoil backwards and hit his head on the side of the cage and left him with a bloody nose. On the 30th of March, Swallow appeared at York Magistrates Court where he pleaded not guilty to common assault, but the judge, God bless him, found Swallow guilty and bailed him to attend on the 3rd of May. Now, I don't know what happened on the 3rd of May because I cannot find any information, but it appears that it was adjourned as he appeared for sentencing on Wednesday this week. For punching a detained man who was in handcuffs and in the back of a police van, causing him to bang his head and have a bloody nose, PC Jacob Swallow was sentenced to 22 weeks in prison. Suspended for 12 months. He was ordered to carry out 150 hours of unpaid work, paid £200 in compensation and £940 in costs. Detective Chief Superintendent Nicola Breyer, head of West Yorkshire Police's Professional Standards Directorate, said the law recognises that there are situations where police officers may be required to use force. It is vital, though, that it is only used when reasonable, necessary and proportionate. In this incident, the victim was handcuffed and secured in a police vehicle. While the male was being aggressive both to himself and officers, this was no justification for punching him in the circumstances, and the court has recognised the officer's actions to be unlawful. PC Swallow has been suspended from duty, and now that this court case has concluded, we will move forward with misconduct proceedings. Now, before we leave this one, let's just put something into perspective. Swallow got 22 weeks suspended for 12 months. 22 weeks is less than 6 months. In fact, it's literally 5 months. So Swallow got 5 months suspended for 1 year. And I got 18 months suspended for 2 years for some weed. So even this copper got less time than I did for growing some herb, and no one was hurt in my offence. Unbelievable.